We've been taught to fear the number 13, to skip it, to erase it, pretend it doesn't even exist. I think most elevators to this day do not have a floor 13 on them. But what if 13 was never unlucky? What if it was actually the heartbeat of creation itself? Now, today I'm going to be talking a little bit about Venus, a very important factor that I don't think anybody's really mentioned in this wonderful time of our transitioning from a 9 energy year to a 1 energy year, to endings and completions, to new beginnings and birth and the reset button. You know, Venus once was the living rhythm of nature and the sacred feminine, and slowly was pushed into silence. And how now, in our lifetime, she's returning. Because the more we remember, the more power flows back into the world, flows back to us through our voices, through our choices, the way we love. So we're going to break down the energy together. We'll start with the numerology of the day. We'll then go into the astrology portion, and then we will turn to the cards. But first, let me say thank you. Thank you for being here, for your time, for your love, for your support. You guys rock. Um, and it's my hope, it's my intention that by the end of our time together, you now have more insight, more wisdom, tools to go forward with confidence, with love. So, hi, I'm Tilly. This is Tarot with Tilly, and welcome to your daily focus for October the 31st, 2025. Today we have the energy of the 31. The 31 asks us what we can do collectively to make, that single step forward. That there is a definite strength in numbers, a definite strength in people surrounding us, helping us to step into that vision of our tomorrow. 3 plus 1 is a 4, and that's about getting our ducks in a row. That is about building our foundation firm, strong, that we don't have weak parts of our foundation, that we have strong pillars of strength to build upon, to build successes, lasting, long-term results. It could also be about home and family. It could be also be about growing our security, our safety. And if we look at the daily numerology, we have a 1 plus a 4 plus a 9, and that gives us a 14 energy. And the 14 energy is all about having more by having less, by having discernment in what we need over what we desire. What's important, what matters, what truly brings us balance in our life, what becomes clutter quite easily in our life, because it doesn't bring us the happiness, the joy, the balance, the serenity, the love that we want to be embodied by. 1 plus 4 is a 5 energy, and the 5 energy is about creating laughter and joy and smiles and giggles and, dancing in the street and singing out loud. It's about allowing your creativity and your inner expression to flow. It's a very busy energy. We'll want to do lots, or a lot of things are calling for our attention at once. Okay, so astrology. Sun is in Scorpio. Our moon moves into Pisces, I think, around 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So most of us will have a full day of that Piscean moon energy, which tells us to pull back a little bit, to rest, to relax, to go within our thoughts, our mind, our imagination. And we don't have any major transits today. So, I was sitting here and I thought I was going to have a video out early, but, I should know better by now. Once again, I started to venture down that rabbit hole. Okay, so I started with, it's Friday. It's Friday. And then that took me to Venus. And then that took me to the 13 energy. And I thought, that's kind of weird. We have a 31 energy day, and yet the 13 energy still kind of appears to me, in my research. So we'll use that. Okay, so I went down the rabbit hole. We have been told for centuries that 13 is unlucky. It's a number of bad omens, things that should be avoided. Brings bad luck, bad things happen. But before the fear, before the rewriting of history, 13 was the sacred number. Okay, that was the number of Venus herself. 13 lunar cycles, 13 weeks in each season. 13 times a woman's body naturally aligns with the moon each year. It's a beautiful divine pattern of fertility, of creation, of renewal. But somewhere along the lines, the world changed. Different systems began to rise, more of a masculine energy. The 12 started to replace the 13 because these new systems began to rise, valuing structure and conquest and control. Control over emotion, creation, flow. And one by one, the symbols of the feminine were dismantled or demonized. The witches were burned at the stake. They were women who knew how to make an herbal recipe to take away that sore throat, But anything to do with the woman and healing and emotion. Okay? Venus became vanity, the moon became madness, and the number 13, once celebrated as the pulse of nature, was recast in the new role as a curse. But here's the thing, okay? Energy can't just disappear. So it waits. And right now it's rising again through art, intuition, balance, and the quiet courage of the people who are no longer afraid to feel, that we tap into our emotion. We understand our emotion as well as our logic and use them as they coexist together. I mean, this is the work of Venus in our time, to restore what was once sacred, to bring beauty back into balance with progress, to remind us that strength doesn't mean suppression, and that creation can't flourish without compassion. And we are right in the middle of that rebirth. I've been talking all about 2025 to 2026, right? And all the major planets are moving signs. And here we are. We haven't even bothered to look at what the smaller planets are doing. And Venus, our love, our beauty, our money. The energy pattern we're in now, the one building towards early January 2026. It's another pulse of this new transformation. We'll be asked to relearn how to live in harmony with both the feminine and the masculine within us. Pardon me. And not one over the other, together. And we're once again being asked, what do I truly value? Or where am I giving my power away, myself away, just to be accepted or seen or heard? What parts of me have I silenced in order to survive? It's a call to let intuition have a seat at the table with logic. To create not because you're told to produce, but because something inside you wants to be born, wants to come alive. And maybe that means slowing down your mornings. Maybe that means saying no to what drains you, saying yes to what inspires you. Maybe it's you looking in the mirror and realizing the body that you have been criticizing has carried you through every transformation till now. Right now, Venus is a night star. We're walking through the final stages of this long, masculine driven cycle. The last act before the door opens and something new appears. And this is where we pause and say, I don't have to prove my worth. I don't have to chase love, success, validation. I can stand completely still and be able to attract what's right for me. Everything Venus has been showing us this year, the realignment of value, the healing of our self-worth, the remembering of what love truly means to us, each and every one of us, our definition. Okay, this all becomes the foundation, that four energy, of what we need to build next. 2025 has been the year of what matters most. And Venus asked us to look at what we have been chasing and to ask, does it bring me joy? Or still bring me joy if it's something that's currently in your life? Does this reflect who I am and who I am becoming? She's been teaching us discernment. So when January arrives, that learning crystallizes. Okay, we will have a superior conjunction when Venus will pass behind the sun. And shortly after that, Venus becomes the morning star. The things that we have been quietly nurturing, our creativity, our relationships, our sense of purpose, the love for ourselves, begin to take form, begin to come alive. And as we move into 2026, the year of new beginnings, her energy, I can't even breathe, I'm talking so fast. Her energy will walk beside us and remind us that we are co-creators. We're always invited to be an active participant in the energy. So early in January, she asks us to embody what we've learned throughout 2025. She looks at us and she says, now that you know your value, live by it. And we enter a cycle where creation is born from authenticity, where success is redefined through harmony, and where our worth is no longer up for debate. I was much more long-winded than I thought I would be about that, but it's a beautiful energy that we are working through right now, and this is where we start to stand strong in who we are. This is where we start to love ourselves and see our worth. And what do we need in order to feel that sense of happiness, joy, comfort, security, safety? Okay. Oh, Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is we're raising the bar on ourselves. We're expecting more out of ourselves. We know that we are so much more capable of things than we are giving ourselves credit for. So yeah, we're stepping up to the plate. Okay, we're getting ready to swing that bat. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Oh, I so want to go and just be there for the energy of the next game, but my days are like crazy. Okay, underlying energy, Three of Pentacles. So it's still about the work, raising the bar. This is more of, you know what, do the work because you want to do the work, because you want to create the masterpiece, because you want to see the final result done fabulously. And take your time and do it right. And if you don't think people are watching, they are. They're taking notes. They're seeing your worth. They're seeing your talent, your ambition. Maybe they're having a conversation or two with you right now, getting to know you a little bit. This is us. We are painting our pathway towards our tomorrow. We are doing it one brushstroke at a time. And we have work to do yet. The whole bottom part of this is still, the wall. But we actually create our passage forward, one brushstroke at a time. So, what are you painting today within your mural of your tomorrow, of your pathway forward? That's just consistency in showing up and doing some action, giving your dream, your goal, your passion, your time, your energy, perhaps resources in order to grow, in order to mature into the success that you can step into, become, create, manifest, transform. Seven of Swords, and don't go blaring it from the mountaintops. This is the time to just have those discussions with seemingly yourself. Talk to God, your creator, angels. And we have to be, once again, the discernment here. I keep getting that word today, discernment of what we really need to take forward with us. We're juggling some swords. We walked by two that would have been so easy to grab, and we're struggling to pick up that other one because that other one is important. The other two, they're nice, they're shiny, they're easy to take with us, but do we really need them? Will they weigh us down? Will they get in the way? Will they cause us grief just because we want to hang on to it? And we're going to somewhere fabulous because in the very back of almost every one of these cards, you see the tents back there. So it's a carnival, it's a parade. There's something exciting happening. And we're going to be a part of it, but we can't be talking about it to everybody. People will try and trip us up, try and make it so that we don't get to the carnival, to the fair, to the exciting things that we anticipate. Maybe they use our words against us. Maybe they steal our ideas and run with them. Whatever it is, they're not thinking in a very nice way when they're having those beautiful face-to-face conversations with you. So be leery of, who is really in your inner circle and who is not. Okay? We've got the Knight of Cups back again. Love. This is all about love. You could meet the person of your dreams that will walk the rest of your path with you. This is about growing those relationships, strengthening the bonds, creating happiness and joy and giggle and laughter into a part of your day with them. You don't have to be in their space. You can text them, you can send them a message, you can send a silly little gif or something to them. And the Page of Cups. Oh, dream it big. Dream it so big your heart's bursting with excitement and passion and joy and celebration. Feel that energy. Stay with that energy. They say 3 minutes, you got to stay with that feeling of happiness and joy. What if the phone rang and you knew on the other end of that line, because that's when they were supposed to phone. They're supposed to phone Friday at noon. And you're still, you just, you're just, you hear the phone ringing in your mind. And you look at the caller ID and it's them. And they call the winner right after they draw the number. It's them. How do you feel? Is the blood pumping? Is the heart going? Is there a smile ear to ear? Are you holding your breath? Really get into the feeling, the emotion. And to believe it, to believe that it's happening in this moment. Believe it like it's happening. Or it's already happened. The money has arrived. It's in the bank. But they don't necessarily hear the words, but they do hear the emotion and the feeling. Okay, ancient stones. The egg stone. Feminine power, embodiment, and fertility. I have an egg stone. I think it's behind me. There's my egg stone. Okay. I'll put that back after. Sorry for rolling away like that. The egg stone. Okay, let's see what the book says. Gosh, I almost opened it right up to the page. There it is. Okay, within the grounds of Glastonbury Abbey in the southwest England, a large ancient stone is hiding in plain sight. The locals refer to it as the egg stone. Legend says that women would sit on the stone during menstruation, a time, and we're talking about the moon, and we're talking about the cycles of Venus and the 13. Oh my goodness, I love this deck. A time when they were at their most powerful and most intuitive to both give and receive feminine power. Pilgrims to this day visit the eggstone, honoring it as a symbol of an era when the feminine was deeply respected and revered. I kid you not. This is what the deck calls up, is our talk in astrology. Oh my goodness. And so the eggstone card is a symbol of all these things: feminine power, unapologetic embodiment, and fertility. The eggstone urges us to honor the feminine in ourselves and in others, no matter how we identify. It urges us to not waste time being distracted by the noise of the patriarchy, you know what I mean. Oh, for goodness sakes. And instead, confidently lead the way in protecting the feminine within us, within others, and within the earth. This is a card of great feminine leadership, of respecting the feminine nature of life, which means respecting and protecting life in general. It can be a sign of birth, both physically and metaphorically, in the form of a child or some sort of creation. And the ancient stone's activation is: I honor the feminine power of myself. I honor the feminine power in all those around me. I'm ready to play my part in protecting the rising feminine of the earth, who will be rising in January of 2026. Okay, I'm going to grab a sip here. Where's my glass? Oh, I was parched. Let's see what the animals have to say, and then I will bid you adieu. I can't believe that. That's the card that came out. Okay. Had nothing to do with my little egg stone, but I got an egg stone. Okay, our card is the giraffe. Stick your neck out. The giraffe shows up. Stick your neck out. Oh my goodness, the giraffe is hiding. That's almost impossible. You ever see the neck on that bad boy? Okay. Stretch, strengthen, intuition, mobility, yoga, clairvoyant. Blessed are the flexible, for they shall not bend out of shape. Sometimes we expect more from others because we'd be willing to do that much for them. And giraffe is reminding us to be careful of who we allow within our circle. So very much like the Seven of Swords today. Giraffe has a close-knit group with family and friends. And when there is someone who disrupts the dynamics of the relationship, giraffe is quick to change it. Whether it's their long necks or legs, or just simply their personalities, giraffes are known to have clairvoyant abilities, the ability to see clearly through people, problems, and sometimes even into the future. This uncanny intuitiveness is a message that you too have the ability of intuition, if you practice trusting in the messages that you receive. Quieting your mind is key to listening to your intuition, and yoga is found to be beneficial in the practice. Since giraffes only sleep for 2 or 4 hours, they must have physical and emotional strength. Yoga can help you gain strength needed to gift you spiritually and physically. I'm just going to go back here. Quieting the mind is key to listening to your intuition. And yes, yes, taking time to just be in silence, absolutely. But if you just take that brief second, what should I do in this moment? That's all you really need. That moment of silence you give to yourself. So you don't have to, wait to meditate or to journal in order to, come up with what your intuition is telling you. Sometimes it's just a feeling, that gut feeling, that heart-centered feeling. So I just don't want you to think that in some way that construes that you have to take time in order to, obviously, we all love the formal ceremony, and we want to go through the whole, the bride walking down the aisle and everything else. But you know what, if they go and elope, kind of the same thing, right? And they're still married at the end of the day, right? It's just, when we have the time, we should take the time. But when we don't have the time, it doesn't mean that the voice stops talking to us. And until we meet again, remember, I do love you.